We have talked about Jan Weiss's most famous novel in episode 245, but he had been primarily a short story writer, penning many fantastic short stories gathered in many collections, and this work of his seems untranslated as of yet. We will review two selections from his earlier short story collections. First, the 1986 Laughter's Phantom and Other Grotesques. Bianca Braselli, the Lady with Two Heads, is the story of Celerin Pochuchov visiting the panopticon of travelling entertainer Giacomo Filipovich Eisenmusch, and is there introduced to and falls in love with Bianca Braselli, the two-headed lady, but it turns out it was all a mystification by Eisenmusch, Mr. Pochuchov being consoled with having had his wonderful dream. Mr. Kwasnichka in his dream has the titular Mr. Kwasnichka, a realtor, dreamed that he had turned into a duck and was brought into the asylum for mentally insane animals, and then another Mr. Kwasnichka shows up and wants to eat him. Laughter's Phantom takes place in a small town with 6 men named Mr. Ruzhichka, each with a nickname to distinguish between them, and focuses on a certain Mr. Ruzhichka's attempt to do whatever he can to change his own epithet, which is rather embarrassing, so his beloved would agree to marry him. The picture has an official, deathly afraid of the paternoster elevator at the department, having a dream of passing in it through the cellars into the subterranean halls where giant wheels are powered by rats who eat public officials. Dear Franciszek is the story of a man who has wonderful expansive dreams, recording them in massive dream diaries, while also being morbidly obsessed by a severed hand hanging in a Prague church, said to have been hacked off from a thief who tried to rob the Madonna statue and got himself stuck, while his own hand begins to suffer until it has to be amputated. The other selection is the 1964 The Lagging Mirror, the Barracks of Death, inspired by Weiss's own experiences in Russia during World War I, focuses on a group of soldiers held in quarantine in a wooden barrack, all going mad from fear of dying of the plague. The 1 Year is the story of a 1-year volunteer in the Austrian army during World War I, how he is tortured by his officer and how he dies. The Apostle has a madman in a prison camp declare himself an apostle from the star Aliovali, dying and inspiring the others to drink the diseased river water, which brings them all sudden fever death, but leaving their souls free to travel to the stars. The Insane Regiment is the story of an experimental military regiment consisting of madmen. However, this version ends where subsequent longer versions continue for a much more bloody resolution. The Radio, the Rose and the Hand has a famous actress advertised to all her adoring fans that she is seeking a man to play her lover in a film, but only a man who will actually let them cut off his own hand for more realism, but only if they bring her a non-existent black rose first. The Lagging Mirror concerns a masked ball in the Individualist Club and a mysterious mirror whose reflection lags considerably, such that others may see it hours later, a great source of fear for a promising director present at the ball. Uncle Julian's Meteor has a meteor crash to Earth, except it is a huge crystal egg inscribed with a cryptic alien message. The narrator's greedy Uncle Julian uses all methods possible to get inside, all of nature going berserk when he succeeds, discovering some liquid inside which, when drunk, proceeds to slowly shrink a person into absolute non-entity while giving them fantastic dreams of alien forests made of glass. The famous dog takes place in Prague during German occupation and focuses on a certain Herr Kern, SS officer and dog handler, whose bestial hound attacks and murders other dogs, even those belonging to superior officers. After the dog is killed by an anonymous hand, Kern bashes his brains out against a wall. It is truly a shame all these stories, both grim and jubilant, fantastic and bizarre, are unknown abroad.